Welcome to Prep Elevate. So today we'll discuss the para completion questions. I am going to start with the CAT 22 slot 1 para completion questions and gradually we'll cover the other questions as well. Alright. Now even if I forget to mention in some of the videos that you need to try the questions on your own, it goes without saying, right? Please try the questions on your own. Come back and take a good look at the solution and see if you're going right, if you're going wrong, and try to do some value addition to your already existing knowledge base. Perfect? Okay, so you have the question on the screen. So what is the pattern? We are given a sentence, we are given a paragraph, and now we need to find out where exactly should we place this sentence so that it makes absolute sense. Now, since this is also a sentence placement question, like I like to refer to it. So in the previous videos, you might find that some videos have a thumbnail which says these are sentence placement. So basically para completion and sentence placement, they're one and the same thing. Okay. Now, for any VARC question, the basic rule that we follow is we first try to skim and make sense and then understand if it should be attempted under exam conditions. Okay, so the sentence says there are words like citizens, knowledgeable, predecessors. Predecessors means what? Ancestors. People who have walked the planet before us. Internet, blessing, curse. In the paragraph, there are words like population, secondary school education. Here I see YouTube, Google, Facebook all together. Newspaper, magazines, technology, advances in technology. Students study, unimaginable. There is no perfect structure to skimming. Okay, it's a random process just to understand what is given. Inability, reinforce, encouraging, inherited beliefs. Okay, more or less I have not come across a very difficult word, which is a really good sign. The length of the paragraph also seems pretty balanced, so that's again a very good sign. More or less this looks like a question that I would like to attempt under exam conditions. Okay, now I'll read it in depth. Having made citizens more and less knowledgeable than their predecessors, the internet has proved to be both a blessing and a curse. So here I am writing the meaning again. Predecessors are our ancestors. So the first line, the sentence says that internet has made us more and less knowledgeable at the same time compared to our ancestors, and in this way it has proved to be both a blessing and a curse. Now understand something. Initial impressions are very important, what you understand immediately after reading something. So जैसे ही मैं ये sentence पढ़ती हूँ ना, the last bit, look at this one. It is both a blessing and a curse. Okay, now something tells me this either could be an introductory statement, meaning I will be given statements that are going to prove this, that how internet is both a blessing and a curse. Or the reverse is also true. I might be given some statements which prove that internet has been both a blessing and a curse. And then, this is the statement that I'm going to conclude my paragraph with. So this could either be an introductory statement or a concluding statement. Now, initial impressions are just, what you understand at first glance. They may be absolutely right or they may be partially correct. We need to verify, but looking at the sentence, this is what I have understood. Now the paragraph already has an introductory statement, right? That we do not have this, the blank is not there, we already have an introductory statement. So there is a huge possibility that this could be the concluding statement, and here we have space for a concluding statement. Okay, so this is the initial impression. Now let us understand the paragraph in depth. Never before has a population, nearly all of whom has enjoyed at least a secondary school education, been exposed to so much information, whether in newspapers, magazines, through YouTube, Google, Facebook, all social media platforms basically. Okay? First line says that we've never had a generation or a segment of population who has been exposed to so much information. We live in this information era, right? We're bombarded with information and through multiple sources, be it newspapers, magazines, all our social media platforms. So this is the generation which has received this explosion of information. Now remember one thing for para completion, we are just trying to look for spaces where the transition between statements is not smooth, and that is exactly where we can place the missing sentence. If the transition is smooth, then we don't need a sentence there, right? So we are exactly trying to find that place, that spot. Yet it is not clear that people today are more knowledgeable than their barely literate predecessors. So here you see the transition is smooth. That means the first line says, yet is indicator word. It indicates something, right? It indicates let's say a contradiction, okay? A switch. That we live in the age of information, we are bombarded with information, yet it is not clear, are we actually more knowledgeable than our barely literate ancestors, our predecessors? That is not clear, okay? Contemporary advances in technology offered more serious and inquisitive students access to realms of knowledge previously unimaginable and unavailable. Inquisitive means curious. Inquisitive means curious students. So advances in technologies has been really helpful to curious students because they have unlocked the gateway to realms of knowledge which earlier was either inaccessible or not available, or you cannot imagine to access that sort of knowledge through the comfort of your homes, right? So this is, now remember the line, the sentence, blessing and a curse. I think we are slowly drifting towards that, right? This is an example of a blessing for all the curious minds out there, for all the curious brains out there. This is a blessing that from the comfort of your homes you are able to access realms of knowledge which was earlier inaccessible, right? But such readily available knowledge leads many more students away from serious study, the reading of actual texts, and towards an inability to write effectively and grammatically. Again, what is an indicator word? It indicates a contrast, a contradiction. So on one hand, because of advances in technology, there's a group of students who are benefiting immensely, and on the other hand we have students who are getting distracted. Does this remind you of your discussions that we have at home, where your mom, your dad, your caretaker, they constantly remind you, इतने time phone पे क्या कर रहे हो, ठीक है? So there is some time that you actually spend seriously studying, and then there is the other half where you want to study but you're actually doing something totally different. You're getting distracted basically. Okay? So this is the second half. So it leads student away from serious study and towards an inability to write effectively. What does this mean? With chat GPT easily accessible, nobody on this day even makes an effort to write an application on your own. You want to leave application, you ask a chat GPT to generate it for you. So you have the end product with you, you're utilizing technology, but then what is it doing? You don't have command over the language, right? So this inability to actually understand language or to comprehend language or to write effectively, that is what it is leading students towards, right? This is that sentence. अभी तक there has been no abrupt transitions. Notice that there has been no uneven transition. So basically we are playing with contrasting statements. First it gives a statement, yet this, but this. So अभी तक contrast ही पे हम लोग खेल रहे हैं. We are not able to find any spaces. ठीक है? It has led people to choose sources that reinforce their opinions rather than encouraging them to question inherited beliefs. Now, one of the reasons why you should actually try to gain knowledge is that you benefit from others having diverse opinions. But the moment you use technology for doing day to day stuff, you don't have anything contradicting your beliefs. Whatever you say is true, it holds true, there is no contradiction from the other end. So that is the last line, that it has led people to choose sources that reinforce their beliefs. There's nobody else in the room, so whatever I say stands right, correct? So it has led people, matlab this ability to access internet so easily. So हमें blessings के लिए भी कुछ statements मिले, and how is it a curse, उसके लिए भी कुछ statements मिले. अभी तक there has been no abrupt transition. So खाली space कौन सा बचा, ये वाला, fourth वाला, ठीक है? So like I mentioned, कि ये this actually looks like a concluding statement, but we need to verify. Okay, the look of the statement gives the initial impression कि इधर ये introductory हो सकता है, but वहाँ पे space नहीं था. Concluding में it makes absolute sense. So we are given examples how it is both a blessing and a curse, how it has made citizens more knowledgeable and also less knowledgeable at the same time. So this is the correct space to place the statement, and option 4 hence is the correct answer. Easy question, should be attempted under exam conditions. No such lengthy statements, no such reading in depth is required, no nuances as such are required. An easy take, you should be able to knock it off. Okay, congratulations to people who tried it on their own and got it right, and for others who did not get it right, take some learning and next time you're going to get it right. Okay, next question. Okay, अगेन सेम ड्रिल. ठीक है, वीआरसी का ड्रिल सेम ही रहता है. यू स्किम, यू अंडरस्टैंड इफ इट इज फेमिलियर और नॉट, अटेम्प्ट वर्दी और नॉट, एंड देन यू डीप डाइव. ठीक है, दीज आर द 3 स्टेप्स. सो एंग्जाइटी, प्रेशर, बिग डे, ये कोट्स में है ना, दैट इज वाई प्रोबेबली इट स्टैंड्स आउट. अपील, कपल्स, मैरी इन सीक्रेट, पैराग्राफ में वेडिंग सीजन, कोविड क्योस, गेस्ट लिस्ट, कुछ तो अराउंड वेडिंग्स है ना, बिकॉज इतने सारे उससे रिलेटेड वर्ड्स मिल रहे हैं. मैरिंग, सीक्रेट मैरिज, गेस्ट लिस्ट, वेडिंग सीजन, सेरेमनीज, लिविंग क्राइसिस, couples are feeling the pinch. Feeling the pinch मतलब when you feel the pain. Wonder, वेडिंग्स, वेडिंग्स ही वेडिंग्स दिख रहा है. सी यहाँ पे कोट्स है, मतलब किसी ने बोला होगा, सी दिस इज द नेम ऑफ अ पर्सन. अब स्किमिंग करते वक्त व्हेन यू रियलाइज कि यहाँ पे नेम ऑफ अ पर्सन है, while actually reading you can skim and go through, इसको skip कर सकते हैं, not required. थेरेपी, प्रैक्टिस, अगेन कोट्स में है तो किसी का स्टेटमेंट्स है. ways to get out of spotlight, married, pomp and circumstance of weddings. ठीक है, easy, statements are easy. हाँ, statements, there's no like second thought to it. Statements are easy, words are familiar, length is also pretty decent. We can actually like look at it and try and attempt it. अभी in depth पढ़ते हैं. ठीक है, easing the anxiety and pressure of having a big day is part of the appeal for many couples who marry in secret. ठीक है, so couples, lot of couples these days are looking at ways of how to reduce the anxiety, of how to reduce the stress of having a big day. And big day मतलब the day of your wedding, right? The entire thing revolves around marriage. वो हमें skimming में पता चल गया था. So big day, so on the day of their wedding, they would like to look for ways to ease the anxiety and ease the pressure. And one way that probably couples have found is they would want to marry in secret. They don't want all that grand weddings, right? So paragraph में क्या है? Wedding season is all upon us, and after 2 years of COVID chaos that saw nuptials scaled back. This is another word for wedding. You may think that temptation would be to go all out. The introductory statement says that because of COVID scare, where there were a lot of restrictions in place and the scale of weddings had to be scaled down, you might think that now that COVID scare has eased, people would go all out. They would spend, and the guest list would be huge. So basically all those things that they could not fulfill because of restrictions, they're going to do that. Like, you are likely to think that. That is what the first line says. But instead of expanding the guest list, many couples are opting to have entirely secret ceremonies. Again, this is an indicator word. So you would think that people would now go all out because the restrictions are no longer in place, but the reverse is happening. What is happening? People want to keep their guest list as short as possible, and they want to, or they would want to have like entirely secret marriages, right? Secret weddings where a very intimate ceremony is what they would like to have. So यहाँ पे तो space नहीं है. The transition is smooth, so यहाँ पे तो space नहीं है हमारे उस sentence के लिए. So वही same rule, wherever there is a smooth transition, we don't have space for our sentence. अभी next देखते हैं. With COVID case numbers remaining high and cost of living crisis, meaning that many couples are feeling the pinch It's no wonder that some are less than eager to send out invites. So ये क्यों हो रहा है? Maybe COVID, the threat has scaled down, right? It's not at a scale that we experienced, but it's somewhere there in the air, right? It's the scale, the threat is still high. Remember, this is a cat 22 paper. Okay, so that is why the discussion revolves that the COVID scare is still there, somewhat it's there in the air. Okay, and obviously there is cost of living, or you don't only want to have a wedding, right? You have a life after that. So couples are feeling the pinch, they're feeling the pain, the pressure that they'll have to lead a good life after that as well. So why do we have to like spend all our life savings on that one big day? So couples are feeling the pinch. There is still a little bit of threat, or let's say scare in the air. COVID scare is still there, and so people are less than eager. They are not very eager to send out invites and to expand their guest list. Plus, ये indicator word है. Okay. Plus, it can't hurt that in celebrity circles, getting married in secret is all the rage. अभी देखो, प्लस मतलब इसके पहले भी कुछ एक ऐसा स्टेटमेंट होना चाहिए जो along the same tonality है. Plus, this is added information that celebrities are also getting married in secret, right? And let's say a little bit of information, like in general also, as a country we love Bollywood stars, we love cricketers. Okay, whatever they do, we tend to follow. They are trendsetters. So if celebrities are getting married in secret, it makes all the more sense for normal people to do the same. So plus, it can't hurt that they are also doing the same. Can you connect the dots? यहाँ पे भी एक secret word है ना. So इसका मतलब, if I try and place it here, this is a placeholder. This might be a good placeholder, that easing the anxiety and pressure of having a big day is part of the appeal for many people, many couples who marry in secret. Plus, it can't hurt that celebrities are also doing the same. तो वहाँ पे भी एक information हमें मिला for couples who want to get married in secret, that it's a part of the plan now. Plus, celebrities are also doing the same, so it is all the more popular now. It's a rage. ठीक है? यहाँ से we have inverted commas. So यहाँ पे there are statements. Somebody would have said this as a statement. I would definitely say that secret weddings are becoming more common, says some expert, founder of therapy practice, which specializes in helping brides and grooms manage wedding stress. So there's somebody who's an expert on the same, who's an authority on it, and he says that secret weddings are definitely becoming more common, and they work with people, they work with brides, they work with grooms, and they help them manage stress. So he says that yes, I can vouch for it, that secret marriages are all the more popular these days, right? People are looking for ways to get out of the spotlight and avoid the pomp and circumstance of weddings. Okay, so he continues that people are actually looking for ways to have those intimate, minimal spend kind of weddings, and they would like to actually escape the spotlight and escape all the pomp and the entire festivities actually that surround the celebrations that surround the wedding. They just want to get to the part where they are married. अभी एक चीज देखो, all of these statements are in double quotes. ठीक है? And the statement that we have, it's not in double quotes, so we can't place it in between. यहाँ पे we don't have space to place it, right? That's one of the ways again of identifying that we can't place it here, because it has to again be part of the conversation, because it is all happening in double quotes. So this person has to say this statement so that it appears in quotes, and hence then I would look for ways if it was possible. But that is not possible because that is not in quote, and this entirely is in quotes. So there is continuity here. So that is why यहाँ पे तो place नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है? यहाँ पे भी हम लोग place नहीं कर सकते. This looks like a good way, for the reason being that here we do not have a smooth transition, and इस plus को justify करने के लिए इससे पहले मुझे एक statement देना पड़ेगा which follows the same tonality, and hence plus this is also true. So it's true for common people also, plus it is true for celebrities also. So what is the answer? Answer is B, option number 2. ठीक है? Easy one, right? Maybe a little bit of confusion this could create under exam conditions because time pressure होता है, but I would again say this is an attempt worthy question. Now, one thing that you have to understand here is, if you have looked at CAT 23 papers that we were discussing for para completion, some videos might be by the name of sentence placement. What they did was, in 22 the options were in sequence. So A corresponds to option 1, B corresponds to option 2, C corresponds to option 3, D corresponds to option 4. But in CAT 23 what happened was, let's say they've created options like this, where let's say A corresponds to option 2, B corresponds to option 3, C corresponds to option 1, and let's say there is an option D which corresponds to option 4. So what I have done is I have basically broken this chain. This chain I have broken. Okay? Now what happens is, here it is pretty evident how I have arranged this, but under exam scenarios, even if you come up with the correct answer, there is a possibility that you will end up marking it wrong. So here let's say this was the correct option 2, you might end up marking B, thinking that 2 is option B, 2 corresponds to option B. Now this is something that happens when we are not very mindful, and it usually happens under exam stress, pressure, right? Time pressure is there, performance pressure is there. So that is why I would request all of you to be mindful. Kabhi kabhi hota hai that even after arriving at the correct answer, we end up marking the wrong answer. So ye galti mat karna. If you are looking at CAT 23 videos also, you'll see I keep stressing on this portion specifically, because agar sara mehnat karne ke baad you end up marking the wrong answer, then it's a very sad thing, right? So we just have to be a little mindful. That's it. Okay, I hope you have understood the explanation. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep practicing, people, and you keep getting better at it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.